Hello everybody, welcome to another video where we introduce you to one more interactive activity that you can use in your bilingual classes, CLIL classes, language classes, or overall interactive classes. We have chosen round-the-clock learning partners, which is a pretty well-known activity, which doesn't mean that you have to know it. And if you don't, I'm sure you're going to like it. So let's see how it goes. So, first of all, the purpose of this activity is to get students to interact with different partners and practice in pairs. This is an interesting activity in which it allows students to move around having different partners and working in pairs all the time, but always with a different partner. And it's a very dynamic way of doing so. Right? So let's read the description and explain a little bit. So the teacher gives each student a handout with a clock printed on it, showing only the hours, 1 to 12, as you would normally have in a regular clock, with an empty field by each number, which corresponds to each hour, for names. So the clock is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and by each number a line so that the student can write a name. So this activity has two parts. The first one is at the teacher's command, the students are going to walk around the class and write 12 names of 12 different partners on their clocks. And you can do it in several different ways. For example, you can say, okay, walk around, everybody walk around. When I say stop, the person closest to you or the person to your right or to your left or behind you will be your partner. Something like that, so that you can mix and match a little bit. So the students will write one name by each number. So this will happen 12 times, 12 different rotations, so that they can choose a partner for each different time. And you can also choose another way to assign partners. You could assign alphabetically, in a lot of other ways. Number two, then after each student has had names by each of the numbers on their clocks, the teacher will actually start the activity as an interactive activity using language or using content. So you are going to give a command. For example, meet with your 6 o'clock partner, meet with your 12 o'clock partner, your 11 o'clock partner. And the students will then find the partner that corresponds to that particular hour. Of course, when two students meet in the first phase of the game, when they meet someone, if I write the name of a partner by number 6, that person writes my name by their number 6. So when I meet them, we meet the same person because we both have names by the same number. So after the students in the second part of the activity meet with their partner, then the student gives a question or a prompt for them to do something. So let's see an example here. So this is a drawing of the clock that you can choose to reproduce and use for your own activity. So notice that by each of the numbers in the clock, there's a space for a name, and the student's name, the one that owns the clock, goes in the middle. So in a language or in a subject area class, for example, after students already have their clock partners, the teacher can, for instance, say, meet with your 7 o'clock partner and ask her or him what her or his favorite book is, if that's a language class, and you're talking about favorites. In a science class, you could say, for example, meet with your 2 o'clock partner and share an interesting fact that you just learned about insects. Then you would be practicing subject area content. And then you could adapt this to a geography, a math, or any other type of class. You could, in a math class, for example, they could meet the 9 o'clock partner in a certain round and answer an equation together that the teacher would write on the board. So that would be the task. And there are some variations here that you can incorporate into the activity. First of all, you could use odd and even numbers on the clock to trigger different types of questions, okay? As a trigger to different questions or as a trigger to different partners. So if the class tends to have boys, meet with boys, you can say, okay, by each of the numbers in the first part of the activity where they choose the partners, you could have by each odd number, you choose someone of the opposite gender and vice versa. You could use this activity as an interview about each other, in which each time on the clock would trigger a different type of question to the same partner. You could say, choose a partner, and every time I say a number, there's a question attached to that number, you're going to write the answer. But then you would, in this case, you would eliminate the first part of the activity where they choose partners and just assign one partner. And this is a radically different way to run it. And if you do it the second way, the students could later write a text about the partner they interviewed. So I hope this gave you an idea of how to use this activity, and I hope you try it out in your class. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.